This is RiverTalks with Jonathan Brush, President and CEO of Unbound.
In Unbound, we have a saying that we use all the time. We say time and tasks only make sense in the context of relationships. And what we mean by that is that when you get into, the business world or the real world, meaning anything past traditional academic training, then you'll find a world that is really based on how well can you manage your time and how effectively can you achieve your tasks. And, success is measured by the effectiveness of how you use your time for productivity. And that's not entirely wrong. You do need to know how to manage your time wisely, and you need to know how to achieve tasks. And in fact, in the company I work for, Unbound, we spend a lot of time teaching our students how to manage their time and how to be productive with their tasks and have the skills they need to achieve those things. And when we teach them that, we always come back to the saying, time and tasks only make sense in the context of relationships. And what we mean by that is it does not matter how well you manage your time, and it does not matter how productive you are. Those things ultimately will only make sense in the context of the relationships in your life. Now, as a Christian, I say those relationships start with the one who made you and who made me. So it's a relationship with your Creator. But it's also a relationship with those who are made in God's image, who carry the imago Dei, the image of God. And it's just irrefutable that if you look around, that there are loads of examples of people who are phenomenally productive, who are able to manage their time, who are able to be really good at all the tasks that they do, that ultimately say they're living empty, lonely, and unfulfilling lives. And the heart of that problem is because they don't have great relationships. So if you get good at everything else, but you're not good at relationships, you're not going to go nearly as well as if you reverse that and you get good at relationships. And even if you're not as good at everything else, you're still going to be better off than the other way around. Now, one of the things that we teach our students, and one of the things that's worth noting here, is that I believe firmly, and there's plenty of proof for this, that being good at relationships is a skill, and it's a learned skill. It's a skill that you can practice, and it's a skill that you can get better at, and it's a skill that if you study it and you apply it, you'll get better at relationships. But sometimes it's helpful to break that down. So we teach a little mnemonic that we call the very core, that stands for T for the, trust, and V for very, values, and C for core, commitment. And then we say trust plus values plus commitment over time and experiences equals great relationships. And what we mean by that is that if you look at any kind of relationship, it's predicated on those things. The more you trust somebody, the better that relationship will be. The more you have shared values with that person, the better your relationship will be. And the more commitment you have to one another, the better that relationship will be. Now, if you take that shared trust, those shared values, and that shared commitment, and you put that over time, you experience those together, and experiences, of course, the more intense the experiences, the deeper the relationship, that equals a great relationship. So there's two things to think about here. The first is that if you want to do a quick assessment of your relationships and where there might be problems, you can kind of just ask how much trust here is here, how much shared values is here, and how much shared commitment is here. How much time do I spend with this person, and what kind of experiences do I have with them? And you can get a pretty good assessment of what's missing and what you would need to do to fix that relationship. But you can also break these pieces down and figure out, am I the kind of person that other people can trust? Am I the kind of person who trusts other people? Am I able to identify the things that I value? And am I able to identify those in other people? Am I the kind of person that commits myself to other people, makes a commitment to other people, and follows through with that? And do I recognize it when other people are committed to me? And am I willing to make the sacrifice of time and put in the creativity to have shared experiences in order to deepen this relationship? Now, we can go an extra step on that, and we say that trust is most often exemplified by transparency. So the more transparent you are with somebody, the more that person is likely to trust you. And that values is often exhibited most by having a shared vision, a shared idea of where you ultimately want to go. And that commitment is often exemplified most by communications. The more communications somebody has with one another, the more commitment is generally present in that relationship. So if you're thinking about what's going on in your life right now, or if you're looking for the most impactful thing that you can do, I would say that above being really good at managing your time, above being really good at doing your job and having great productivity, would be, are you the kind of person that is in great relationships? Do you have great relationships with other people? And if not, do you know why? And if you know why, can you take steps to address that and make a difference? And that if you become good at relationships, if you're the kind of person that can form good, deep, lasting friendships, if you're the kind of person that consistently serves other people, and most importantly, if you can constantly remember that all people are made in the image of God, they carry the imago Dei. And so therefore, in the words of C.S. Lewis, you've never met a mere mortal, that everybody that you meet is destined for everlasting splendor or eternal horror, that changes your perspective. It changes your perspective on how you use your time, and it changes your perspective on how you do your tasks. In other words, time and tasks only make sense in the context of relationships.